We shall be talking about the comparison and the difference between the annual general meeting and the extraordinary general meeting. The first point is the meaning. Annual general meeting is that meeting which is held for the equity shareholders. The preference shareholders cannot attend the annual general meeting. The meeting for the owners or called the members or the shareholders of the company to come and discuss about the company's matters, administrative matters, financial matters, anything related to the company. This meeting is mandatory to be held by the company, in which the shareholders, they can ask for the transparency of the company, how the matters are going on. They discuss the progress of the company in the last financial year. There is a time in which they can ask the questions from the board of directors, their purview and the perspective of the company in the financial coming year. So this type of a meeting, which is to be held every year, in which the shareholders are invited, it is a meeting between the shareholders and the board of the directors, and the shareholders, they review the past financial year progress of the company, is called the annual general meeting. Now, extraordinary general meeting, any other meeting which is other than annual general meeting, is called extraordinary general meeting. See, there are certain special businesses, there are certain special urgent issues which need utmost attention and which need immediate action. You cannot wait for the annual general meeting to be held and then there we will discuss these issues. Certain issues are very special and they are very urgent. So to discuss those issues, we do not wait for the annual general meeting to happen. We conduct immediately extraordinary general meeting for those special and urgent issues. So what is it written here? To discuss urgent matters, they cannot be postponed. You cannot wait till the annual general meeting to be held and then we will take action on those matters. No. So all the urgent matters, they are discussed in the extraordinary general meeting. As far as the business is concerned, I told you that special businesses are transacted in the extraordinary general meeting. Special business here means businesses of utmost attention and immediate action. But in the annual general meeting, you can transact ordinary business as well as the special business can also be transacted. Again, this is something contingency arises, a crisis arises or an important issue arises. You have to remove the key manager. You have to remove the director before the expiry of his term. You have to remove the auditor before the expiry of this term. This type of matters, they can be called for extraordinary general meeting. But if AGM is being held and certain special business of this nature comes up, it can also be discussed. It can also be discussed and transacted in the annual general meeting. So, annual general meeting, we discuss ordinary business and the special business both, but in the extraordinary general meeting, only special business is transacted. Now, the rules regarding the first meeting. The first AGM, it should be held within 9 months from the end of the financial year for the first time when it is going to be held in a company. I repeat, if it is a new company, it's going to hold the annual general meeting for the first time, you have to have within 9 months. The subsequent or the further meetings, they can be held in 6 months, like the 6 months at the end of the last financial year. This 9-month clause is just for the first meeting. After that, you have to hold the annual general meeting in 6 months. And for extraordinary general meeting, there is no such clause, there is no such requirement. As in when you think that a special business, special matter needs urgent attention, you can call for extraordinary general meeting. Then comes the penalty. Because AGM is mandatory to be held, the meeting, if it is not held in the stipulated time, then a penalty is levied. Every concerned officer is punishable with a fine of 1 lakh and a further fine of 5,000 per day till the default continues. As I told you, the set terms of conditions, you have to hold it within 6 months of the financial year. And if there is a default, the penalty, you have to face it. But in the EGM, there is no such penalty by law. the directors fail to hold the meeting on the requisition, the requisitionist can hold it and recover the expense of holding such a meeting. So, when we talk about the extraordinary general meeting, any shareholder, any member can file a requisition for holding such meeting. There is I have explained it in the detail in my separate video of extraordinary general meeting. There is a time lapse in which the directors have to hold such meetings after the request is filed. And if the directors do not do so, the requisitionist himself can hold this extraordinary general meeting and all the expenses will be reimbursed back to the requisitionist. But if you talk about the penalty, there is no penalty not to hold any extraordinary general meeting. Next comes the purpose. Now, AGM is held to review the progress made by the company during the year. What matters are discussed: appointment of the director, appointment of the auditor, the declaration of the dividend to finalize the rate of the dividend. All such matters are discussed. The directors present the annual report also. So all these things of regular nature, they have to be done in the AGM. In the EGM, it is held to discuss and decide on special and urgent matters. Just as I told you, those matters, they cannot wait for the next AGM. They need immediate action. Therefore, EGM is held. Now, the annual general meeting can be held only during the business hours. They cannot be held on a national holiday. You have to act according to this stipulated procedure. But in the EGM, it can be held on any day, including any holiday, and it can also be convened outside business hours, because the purpose only of the EGM is to discuss a special matter, urgent matter. So you don't have to wait for the business hours. You can even have it on a national holiday, doesn't matter. Now, the company board can call AGM, and generally the board of the directors, within the stipulated time, they have to hold this AGM. EGM can be called by the board on the requisition of the shareholders. Requisition here means you have to file a request for the same, the requisitionist himself or the tribunal. Next is convened by. It is generally convened by the board of the directors under special circumstances or by the central government if it is urgent. Here, EGM is convened by the board on the requisition, the requisitionist himself or the shareholders and the tribunal or the national company law. So here I come to the end of the article. I would like to mention that there is a separate video for the annual general meeting and a separate video for extraordinary general meeting. Please go through those two separate videos as well. If you have any doubts, you can feel free to ask me in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Kindly like and subscribe to my channel. Stay safe, stay blessed.